Yeah, great. I mean, so he got going early. He didn't wait for the barrel. He just said, I'm surfing.
Yeah, kind of hung down the line a little further past his rivals in this heat. And what a solid pack of contenders it is. C.Richards from the east coast of the United States. He's out there in the white. Leonardo Fioravanti representing Italy. He's out there in the blue. A.Muniz, surfer that we've seen on the championship tour. He's out there in the red, the Brazilian, looking to get back onto the CT.
You know, maybe Kelly, you know, sort of read the play and said, you know, these young guys, they're going to really push me hard around the back of the rock. It could be ages before we get a wave. He just went to that little cut-off point down there. He left him out there going, where is he? What's he doing?
I guess, too, what you do in that situation is you force the rotation if you can get an OK score on the board for the 11-time world champ. And he's opted to paddle back out. 4.83 for that first wave, but I think if he gets another one, he'll probably do a run around, and that's probably when the order of priority will start to work in his favour. And when it does, he'll be very well positioned to take off on one of those barrelling rides. Yeah,
well, we saw him in the West on that really massive day, the big day, and he came in and he was gassed. And this is a different kind of fitness here, but he got himself in a bit of match fitness over there, that's for sure.
50 years of age and 56 championship tour wins. Just amazing as we have a look at the replay of that opening ride.
Yeah, it's a small wave, but he's got himself. He's just going in this heat, and I think he just wants to surf. Yes, he only got the 2 waves yesterday, Ronnie.
That's all he needed. I think he might need a couple more than this today, but the change to the quad looks solid. That board looks to be moving with a lot of pace down the line.
Yeah, well, that board, you know, he hasn't revisited that for 8 years. That board remembers this wave.
So 24.5 minutes to go. And Kelly just cruising back out. I think what Kelly's recognised is that it takes a lot to hold position out the back. And while priority's neutral, that battle will continue between the 3 surfers that are out there.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. I just think he looked at that, he said, he looked at the characters, and they're going to push hard. Alejo's not going to give it an inch. Leo's not going to give it an inch. They're quite aggressive, but now they've all gone to that cutoff spot, and it looks like Leo's got the inside.
Leo tucking in, and he'll find his way through. Slater looking right into the eye of that tube. Fioravanti gets the payoff of fighting for that inside position while priority was neutral on the outside. And now he's going to look to make the other competitors pay. Great start to this ride. It's going to go again. This guy's such a fierce competitor. Gave one of the great post-heat interviews after losing out at Margaret River and failing to get above the cut line. Just shifted his focus straight to the Challenger Series. Said that result would not define him, and he was going to get after the Challenger Series events and keep his head down. He's done just that.
Yeah, it's a good opener. It's a solid opener for Leo. He'll be happy with that. His heat's underway now. He got that. It took him 6.5 minutes to get it, but that was a good deal because you left the other guys out there.
Of all the surfers that fell off the CT, you know, I think they've all got a great chance of getting back there. If I had to put my house on it, I'd probably go with Leo at some point. I think he's just bound to get there. Just such a fierce competitor. Whenever he seems to come back to this level of competition, Bugs, he just sets himself apart.
He does, and I mean, I guess, you know, if there were 2 surfers that you'd put your money on them doing that exactly, it would be Leo or someone like Jadson and Andre, but Jadson's made it.
Here's the replay. So the real work was done on the outside section, much like Julian Wilson in the last heat. He was well positioned, but he got some added extras in here.
Yeah, he wasn't super deep though. I don't think he's going to go through the stratosphere this heat, this score. It's just a good solid opener.
He's really fit. Good size set waves rolling through the lineup at the moment as we see the vision of Leo making his way in. Have a look at this thing.
Yeah. So he's just nicely tucked there. Yeah, he's on the. He was momentarily, the whole board was gone, but it was nicely positioned. He came out clean as a whistle, even though he came at the base of the wave.
Yeah, sometimes here, oh, have a look at this. C.Richards setting one up, grabs the rail, drags the body, finds the cover. Just that wave getting away from him, though. Reeled off and pinched.
Big crowd has come out in the rain. We've got a wet day here on the Gold Coast, Ronnie. They know when the greatest surfer in the world ever is in action, and they're here.
Yeah, the old WSL app gets a hammering when people are trying to work out when Kelly's going to be out there in the water. Leonardo dropped to 7.33.
Yeah, that's solid. That's really solid.
Taking the walk. It's like walking on a hot coals.
Oh, tell you what, you need to have, you know, when you're young, you're so used to walking around barefoot all your life. You get a bit older, you go along those rocks there, and all you're worrying about is, you know, the bottom of your feet. You're not watching the sets coming.
Yeah. Yeah, like stepping on bits of Lego that haven't been picked up on the toy room floor. Just on 20 minutes to go here, Leonardo just making a big statement. Have a look at this wave.
Wow. K.Slater sideways takeoff.
Classic Kelly having a go at it. Oh, just straight over. We know he's at one with the ocean, but that was true on that last ride. Just really got completely enveloped, swallowed by the waves, sent over the falls. But Kelly, he was in a position where priority wasn't really an issue. Just over 19 and a half minutes to go in this heat. Leonardo hanging on to a great score. Kelly's got the 4.83.
Gosh, that wave, though, I mean, nobody got it. It just broke outside of everyone. It came from deep. It was a violent spit.
Slater Bugs, let's talk a little bit about him. You've seen the entire professional era of the sport unfold, and you saw Kelly coming from miles away. Your first impressions when you saw him surf?
Yeah, absolutely incredible. The first time I actually saw him surf live was at Backdoor Pipe when he was really young. And I was just down there one day, and he'd run these little, really thin Almerics, and you could just tell he just had this feel for it. He had this feel for the barrel, and he was just getting barrel after barrel. I mean, not as deep as he would get later in his career, but you could just tell he had a natural feel for the barrel. He was just an ocean child. You could just tell.
Leo now going looking for that backup score at the bottom end of the priority order. He's connected with a pretty decent wave here. Throws himself into a reverse. Well, that was impressive. On a tricky section, he really makes something of it. Now looks to just jump into the next little opportunity here on the inside. The wave's starting to fade, though. Losing energy, and Leo's out, but that'll be a reasonable score. Feel that wind coming up a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, that's getting a little bit more west in it. It's still that's still southwest, though. There's still enough southerly in that, so it's not what you call choppy, but those little ribs are quite dominant right now, and they're making it for a very tricky ride. It'll help it on the barrel section behind the rock, but down the line it's going to be tricky.
This is A.Muniz, and this is what he's capable of. This is actually his first ride, so he had a really sleepy start to the heat.
Yeah, well, he took up a big position behind the rock, and I think Kelly knew that Alejo and Leo were going to have a battle behind the rock.
Yeah, Leo's got all the moves, doesn't he? And really maintained great control through that manoeuvre. I think ultimately he just went to throw the fins, but when the board kind of went into that backwards position and those fins grabbed, he was able to spin it around. So it'll be a reasonable backup score for him.
Yeah, well, just under 19 minutes remaining, Kelly would go, oh, send me another one of those big spitters. That thing was absolutely phenomenal. Caught them all out.
Sure did. Yeah, I think it was one of the bigger waves that we've seen today.
So they're out there. That was just a one-off. It wasn't even a set. It was just a one-off.
Just over 16 minutes to go here. Let's learn a little bit more about Nolan Raposo. He's down there with Kuiper.
Wow, Nolan, how's it feeling coming out on top of a stacked heat like that?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I've looked up to Julian my whole life, watched Scratching the Surface, like all the videos of him out here, and it's just like kind of surreal at this point, you know, just getting him one here at his home, or not his home break, but at Snapper, you know.
Yeah, well, he's a former champ. That's a big accomplishment.
For sure, yeah. Even Matthew, like Matthew's on the tour, just requalified himself. So I mean, both those guys are like huge surfers that I need to be beating to make it on the tour. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Hey, coming to the last Challenger in 2021, you were right in the conversation. How important is it for a strong start in 2022 for you?
Yeah, that's everything. That's all my goals in my book this year are all like to get lots of results in foreign countries because I only had the one back at home at the U.S. Open. So me and Myers have it all written up. I have some new equipment under my feet. Paizel's been making me some magic boards, and I'm feeling pretty confident this year. So let's just keep it going.
Great to see the surfing, Nolan Raposo.
Yeah, thank you, Kipes. Really enjoying the surfing that he's throwing at us here at Snapper Rocks this year. And I like it. I like the goal to actually start collecting the big results when you're on the road.
I love that interview. It really, it just tells it all. He is in this zone. This is where he wants to be. He's now got himself into the point where it's his comfort zone because he identified that both Matthew McGillivray, they're right there. They're surfers that have made the cut. They're on the tour that he wants to be on. He said, I've got to beat those guys to make it to the CT. I love that.
Yeah, well, job done there. Through to the next round. 14.5 minutes to go. This one's standing up. No one's looking at it, though. On the outside, we might have some action.
Yeah, well, this wave here's an interesting one. I can see a little bit of a double section in front of it. Kelly doesn't like the look of it.
Richards will take it, though. Drives off the bottom into the first section. Great turn to get started. Gets another opportunity here. So Kelly said no to this wave. And I think here's why. It's split in half for a moment. Cam's doing his best to get back out in front of it. Just gets completely bucked by the impacting water there. And he'll go down, but just under 14 minutes to go.
I'm pretty sure Kelly thought there was another wave behind, and I was too. I thought there might be more in that. He let that first one go.
I think it was the right decision still, because if you've waited that long with priority, you may as well still hunt that tube. That big pit on the outside section. 13.5 minutes to go here. Leonardo's out in front. K.Slater's in second place. Yeah, it's got that warm, you know, all year round summer vibe to it, even though it's quite chilly today.
It's freezing.
Actually, I had to go down to the Rip Curl store before and get myself a hoodie.
Yeah.
I was feeling the chill. It's rare here on the coast to have to rug up, but the crowd doesn't mind it. They're happy to come down here and stand in the cold, stand in the rain to get eyes on the greatest of all time. K.Slater is out there with work to do at the moment. He's been ultra patient, as he was in the first round. He got the first wave of this heat, but with priority, he's been super selective on the outside section. And as a result, it's kind of allowed the other competitors to start to build scores around him.
Yeah, there was a wave there that A.Muniz got. He ended up getting, I think, about a 5.6. I was a little surprised Kelly didn't take that one. But then again, he started the first heat he was in with an 8, then he got the 4 at the end. Now he's doing it the other way around, maybe.
Well, he's gone all in. He hasn't even looked at his cards yet. Yeah. I mean, he's really banking on a special ride coming his way. He's seen a couple of bombs and he wasn't really in the priority position to take him. And then there was one big one that came through that I think caught everyone out. But Kelly knows that there is some magic waves coming our way. But let's have a look at Alejo's ride from during the break.
Yeah, I mean, it was a smallish wave, but it had a little grow factor to it. And I liked it through here. He doesn't get a big score, but it's enough to get him into second place, Ronnie. So, It's just around that 5-6 mark.
Alejo on the Challenger Series last year, his best result was a quarterfinal in Portugal. He ended up finishing 35th on the Challenger Series last year, but he has been to the CT before. His best year came in his rookie season. He had a 10th place finish, 2 semi-final results. That's as far as he's been in the CT, those semis, but good surfer who, you know, I think started to have some better performances in those waves of consequence too as his career wore on.
Yeah, he's had a big career, and we're seeing it start here by K.Slater.
He wasn't even sure if he wanted this wave, Kelly, but he will try and make the most of it. Nice critical first turn, climbs up into the lip again, fading back to set up a vertical approach again, and just swings the tail out onto the open green wall and cutting back now, just transitioning, hoping for a connection through to the inside here. Will this wave go again? Here's the little double up lump, and Slater rides high for a moment, dropping into the bowl now. Nice hit there. This has worked out to be a quality ride. There's that trademark slash. And he moved a lot of water at the end of that ride there. So making some comparisons to what we saw from A.Muniz. He had a 5.6 for his last ride. In my mind, Kelly's was much better.
Well, they had that extra bonus section that he got that really good top to bottom work in. It might have only been 2 foot wave down the end, but he was doing full-blooded turns. And he gets kind of spat into this wave.
One thing you really notice about Kelly when he heads back out now is just his attention to his breathing, just really getting it under control. But how are these first 3 turns, Bugs?
Yeah, they're solid. Look at this, not the rooster tail on that one, but the first one, and then the tail slide there. It's a bit of progressive, nice round here. It just doesn't, there's nothing out of place though. There's no dead moments, no fat moments. And he looks along this wave, he sees it, and there's a little ridge here that he just pops over, and then he goes to the bottom, and these turns here are great. Oh, this is my favourite one right here. Wow. That's a great turn.
Well, that's the turn that really helped Kelly, you know, start collecting world titles. It was powerful, it was critical, and ever so stylish.
He's going to get a score for this. It's not a big wave, but it's a wave of consequence, that's for sure. I just love the takeoff. He got spat into it.
His partner Kalani watching on. I think she liked the look of it. So he was second guessing even taking that wave, but I bet he's glad he did. 7.37, highest single score of the heat so far. Slater back up into second position, and now after a 4.93 to overtake his friend Leonardo Fioravanti.
Yeah, he probably would have felt more comfortable if he'd just got a little bit more and got in front of Leo there, because look at the score, 12.3 to 12.2. And Kelly, you know, whenever you're in that second spot, though, you're still a little vulnerable.
Well, K.Slater's relationship to Leonardo Fioravanti goes way back to when Leo was just a tiny grom. We'll get back to that in a moment as Alejo goes on the hunt for a 6.61 here. Just that projection lip line float to try and get back out in front of it. Gets swamped, though, gets a little caught behind. Have a look at this wall, though, for Leonardo. The Italian just digs in, throws a big fan of spray straight into Kelly's face, laser beams. And now back out in front of it. Wow, he's connecting with some nice rides out here at the moment.
Yeah, well, of these 2 waves, this one is the one that does not harm Kelly so much. Alejo could have.
Yeah, nice finish. Slater up behind him. Just love the way Kelly's board's just hammering down the line. He's got so much speed, but he loses it there.
Yeah, that's a weird one. He really lost it there. Something's wrong.
Yeah, well, that'll be a frustrating one for Kelly, because that was on its way to being much better than his 4.83, which was really keeping A.Muniz and C.Richards at bay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, C.Richards, he's gone a little quiet. He's got that 5.3, so it's not, you know, insignificant. He's still within striking range, and that wave of Kelly could have put him a lot of daylight between him and the 3rd and 4th. Let's have a look at what happened here. This is a good-looking wave by Kelly. It's going to be one of those growers as it goes down Little Marley. does a nice turn there, and then he races around this section. Everything looks okay here. Yeah, you saw him a little got skitsy as he changed his footing at the bottom of this wave.
Don't know what it was, but really odd. He did do some pretty nice turns. Here's a replay of Leonardo.
Yeah, Leonardo's definitely going to improve his position with this wave. Those first couple of turns really slick to the criteria. So he's going to put himself well in front there because he's going to eliminate that 4.97.
There it is.
Oh, Kelly gives him the high five.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the relationship between Kelly and Leo. It goes way back. They were on the same team together. They both rode for Quicksilver for a number of years. Leo was just a grom, travelling the world. His stepfather is Stephen Bell, who most people would remember seeing travelling with Kelly as a coach or support man, but ultimately a really good friend and a family friend. So these guys have, been travelling the world together for a long time. They caught up for dinner here just the other night. They've been surfing together, and now they find themselves in a heat. It looks like they're both enjoying it out there, but Kelly missed an opportunity to really solidify or consolidate that second position on that last ride.
Yeah, look, Belly was a classic. I mean, he took, Leo, he had Kanoa, he had all those kids under his wing there.
Look at this thing, Cam Richards.
Oh, that's slotted. Well, this is going to make it a lot more dangerous now.
I don't know how many waves there are like this around Garden City Beach, but he'll take it. Great start to this ride. And now pacing himself for a big finish through the inside, driving up into the pocket. He's let go of some good backhand turns already, but in addition to the tube ride at the start of this wave, he could be on his way to the score that he needs. Doesn't get the finish, gets a little tangled up there. Needed a 6.91 out of this wave to get himself up in the second with just over 2 minutes remaining.
Oh, well, you got to think it's going to be close to that because that barrel was deep. He was slotted deep in that thing. I would say the best backhand barrel I've seen.
I don't think you're wrong. So numbers on the way. Slater's got scores to come.
Yeah, but it's not going to be much.
Will it be better than his 4.83?
No, I don't see it. I think he fell too early.
I got a feeling it might just be a little bit more than the 4.83. Here's the replay of Cam Richards.
Yeah, he's deeply, deeply slotted there. Right there, that's deep. This is going to be a good score, Ronnie. I think that little skitch out that Kelly's board had or something happened on that wave is going to hurt him. Now, what do you think of the last part of this ride?
Yeah, it provided a couple of decent sections for him, but I know he would have loved to have finished it off. There's a nice vert there, came through to the inside, and that just threw him off a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
At second last hit. So you were spot on, Bugs. Slater's last score's rolling through now. Doesn't look like it's going to help him improve that tally. So the requirement for Cam Richards remains at 6.91 with a score on the way, and it was a deep barrel.
Yeah, it's a dangerous score for Kelly, this one.
So just under a minute remaining, 50 seconds to go.
I don't know if Kelly put himself far enough in front. I just had a feeling that wave was about to do it for him. I reckon he was on his way to a 7+, Kelly, on that one.
Oh, this will be tough. And I think if Kelly hadn't had the opportunity on that last ride that he took, he wouldn't be as frustrated as he might be if he doesn't find another ride. But Alejo now, he is looking for a score too. He needs a 6.61 at the moment, but he'll probably need more with Cam Richards waiting on this big number to drop, and it is a big number.
Yeah, it's a big number.
It's going excellent. So Slater's going to be pushed out of the top two here, and I don't know if we're going to see him on another ride. Oh, he is up. He is up behind Alejo here.
I thought there was a wave behind Alejo.
Kelly's on a tear. The score still coming in for Cam Richards, but it's going to be excellent. So Slater's going to need something. He's going to need something pretty decent. And he's going to take to the air here. Lands that. Cutting back, just milking everything he can out of this ride at the moment. He'll take anything he can get. He might even get up again and give it another hit.
Yeah, well, we don't know what he did at the start, but there's Cam Richards now on a switchfoot snapper model. But we have to see the start of Kelly's wave, because I had a feeling when Alejo took off, I could see something out the back, and I thought there might be a little walled wave here for Kelly, and he definitely got it within the time.
So he got to his feet. Cam Richards has already moved up into that second spot. He got a 8.33 for the barrel.
Wow, big score.
So Slater's after a 6.27.
It's all about the start of this one, because the end just probably wasn't enough.
We'll try and get a look at the start of Kelly's wave. But a 6.27 is the score. He's gassed at the moment.
He's also waiting for the score, because he's not sure. He's going, maybe I did enough, but he put a lot of effort into that one.
This is the Harvey Norman recap, and Slater, this was what he did on his last wave, straight up into it. Nice carve there, and it's all about this work. That was an unbelievable slash.
Another beautiful slash there. He's staying busy, that's for sure. He's got this down the line section, gets around, and now we take it up from the front angle, and
yeah, the score's coming through. And it wasn't enough for K.Slater, just falling short. And Cam Richards hangs on to second spot, but Leonardo Fioravanti, he's going to take the win here. A solid performance from him. But Slater, he'll be looking back on that one that he fell on, Bugs, and really, he'll be frustrated with that result.
yeah, he just went over the back of the wave. Something happened there. I'm not sure what it was.
I saw us battle for like 10 seconds before too.
Yeah, I know. But I was there for so long waiting for a wave.
Kelly taking in the deep breaths.